Hi everyone, my name is Sunxeke and I am the owner and maker of Glitter with Sunxeke. If you like the content that you're seeing, please like, subscribe, and share. You can also connect with me by Facebook, Instagram, and email. Hey everyone, today we're going to be making this 50-50 split candy corn and Halloween pattern vinyl. Come and see how to make it, and I'll show you all the tips and tricks that I know for it. So I started off by taking my cup outside and spray painting it this fluorescent orange and this white. And then I'm bringing it inside to paint it yellow, lemon yellow. The reason why I didn't spray paint the yellow was because I didn't have a yellow spray paint. But I also didn't have a white and orange, just acrylic paint. So what I did was I took it outside and I sprayed it fluorescent orange and white, and then let that completely dry, and then I brought it in and I am now painting it this yellow color. Now I decided to paint it before putting on the vinyl. After doing this, I would flip-flop it. I thought that it was going to be easier to paint it then vinyl it, but I have learned that that's not it. So here are the two colors that I used, both from Home Depot, and then here's that yellow again. So the reason why I thought it'd be easier to paint it was because I didn't want to have to tape off the vinyl and do all that stuff in order to then go outside to paint it. So my thinking was, I'll just go ahead and paint it, add the vinyl, and then glitter it. But what I wasn't thinking was I was going to have to tape up that vinyl anyways for me to be able to for me to be able to epoxy it and glitter it. So I personally in the future would go ahead and apply the vinyl, tape it off, and then I would apply the paint. So I thought it was going to be easier because I thought, oh, I'll just go ahead and paint it and then I won't have to tape off vinyl or any of that stuff. But I ended up having to do that, and it just didn't work out the way that I thought it would. So the easiest way for me to apply vinyl is I like to draw a straight line on my tumbler and then use that line in order to line up my vinyl to then smooth out my vinyl. Whenever I try to just put the vinyl on without any line, I can never get it straight. So what I've started doing was putting a line on my cup so that way I have a straight line to base my vinyl off of. So as you can see, I am using that line that I drew, and I am just lining up my vinyl with that black line that I drew on my cup. It doesn't matter that you can still see the line because we're putting glitter on it. You aren't going to be able to see that line in the end at all. So if you're worried about that, don't worry about that. You're not going to be able to see it at all. And if you do what I recommend, which is applying the vinyl and then painting, you for sure won't be able to see it. You can't see it now, but you for sure won't be able to see it at all. So what I'm doing is I am just taking that very, very slowly, and I am spreading out the vinyl onto the cup using my little squeegee and using my hands. Once I have it applied to my cup, I am then going to make sure that I'm smoothing it all out, that there are no bubbles, And then I am going to pull the vinyl really tight along the bottom and along the top rim. I will then take my cup edging tool and I will cut off the remaining vinyl that I didn't want on there. The reason why I would apply vinyl and then paint is because of what happens next. After I cut off the remaining vinyl and peeled it off, some of my paint came off. I went ahead and I touched up the yellow, but in the end you can kind of see where I touched the yellow up. You can also see that there was a little smidge of the white paint that was missing at the very top. I corrected most of it with my vinyl striping, but you can still see that there's a little bit of paint missing. So for future reference, I would definitely add your vinyl, tape it off, and then paint. So with this little tool that I'm using, for the bottom part, I had 2 of the little plastic pieces as my spacers for the bottom part, and I only wanted 1 spacer for the top of the cup. So I love this cup edging tool, but my complaint with it is that I wish that I had 2 so that I could just have 1 on the very lowest level and the other on the next highest level. That way I didn't have to take it apart for the same cup. But I didn't want to cut too little off the bottom and too much off the top, so that's just kind of adjustment you have to make. So now that my excess vinyl is off, I am going to go back and I am going to use that yellow paint again, and I'm going to paint over the spots that are missing on the bottom. Like I said before, either one of 2 things. When you are missing this paint, do a full round of another coat of the paint on the bottom. That way you don't have a splotchy kind of looking bottom. Or just do what I recommend and paint second. So I let that paint fully dry, and then I was ready to go ahead and glitter. And then this is the part where I realized, oh, it really didn't matter that I painted first, because I have to go through and tape all this vinyl off anyways, because I am adding epoxy and glitter to this, and I didn't want my epoxy and glitter to get on my vinyl. So I was like, well, for future reference, I will now be applying my vinyl and then I will be painting, because that just now makes logical sense to me that if you have to tape it off anyways, you might as well not have the issues that I had with the paint coming off with the excess vinyl and a little bit of the paint coming off when I taped. So I'm just going to let this play through, and you can just watch me tape up all of this vinyl. now is a perfect time while you are watching me tape up my vinyl to, if you haven't already, hit that like button. And then also, if you're not already subscribed to this channel, will you hit that subscribe button down below? It really helps my channel. I am thrilled with the success that I've had so far. As of the time of recording this voiceover, I have 128 subscribers, and I thank each and every one of you for subscribing to my channel and supporting me in my cup making adventures. So if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit that button. If you haven't hit the like button, hit that one as well. Thanks, guys. I am using the epoxy method in order to adhere my glitter. I'm using Mellow Yellow from the Glitter Guy. I am using Disregard for the white. And then for the orange, I'm using Gnarly and Disregard mixed together. You guys know that I mix Disregard with Gnarly anytime I need orange, because that orange doesn't really sparkle. And so I add Disregard in order to give it a sparkle. But I am using the epoxy method, and you do not need much epoxy at all. Like maybe 1 milliliter. Not hardly any at all, because you're only epoxying half, or I only epoxied half of a 20-ounce cup. If you use a bigger cup, you might need some more. If you use a smaller cup, you might need less. But just go with the amount of epoxy. I made 5 milliliters because that's the smallest amount that I can make and mix. So I made 5 milliliters, and I am just spreading that epoxy all over my cup, making sure that I'm getting the rim, the top rim really well, and the bottom rim really well. Those tend to be the two places that I miss with my epoxy. And so just make sure you get your top and your bottom rim and bottom really well. Then I am going to start with my darkest color, which is my orange. And I immediately knew that I did not mix enough. I was like, oh, darn, this is going to take me forever to glitter this. And of course I could not get my cup to stand, so I had to do all of this while holding my cup. So I am so sorry for the funky cup in the lens, but I couldn't put it down. So I am now making more of Gnarly and Disregard together, and I'm just mixing it together. I am not measuring. It really doesn't need, you don't need like a 50-50 mix. It's just kind of whatever you see, however much sparkle you see, and how much you want that sparkle to be in there. So I am then going to finish covering up the orange, and you'll notice that I left just a smidge of the orange exposed. That is so that I can do a blend with my yellow and my white. So now that I have done a majority of my orange, I'm going to set my orange aside, and then I am going to grab my yellow. And I'm trying to clean up my space as much as I can with one hand because I'm holding on to that cup. So I'm now taking my yellow. I think I said orange a minute ago. I'm taking my yellow, and I am going to spread it all over the bottom and cover that bottom really well. And then go up just a little bit on the yellow part, and I guess I do cover up all of the yellow, and then I'm going to bring the orange down here in just a minute. So I'm just kind of laying a foundation for my colors right now, and here in a moment I will then start blending them together. Because I had orange on my cup already, I went and I took my cup over to the trash can to tap it off. I did that way my orange, if any tapped off, it didn't contaminate my yellow glitter. So I'm pouring my yellow glitter back into the shaker, and then I'm going to set that aside and get out a new fresh sheet of paper and do the same thing with my white. I'm going to give the top part all of the coverage that I need, and then here in a moment I will go back and start blending together my orange and my white. So just keep watching and see how I kind of blend it together. I start again with my orange, blend it into my yellow, and then yellow into the orange into the white, white into the orange. So I'm always starting with my darkest color and blending that in first, and then going over with the lighter color. So the further I get into this voiceover, the worse and worse I hear my voice getting. I think that I am coming down with a bug of some sort. I really hope not, but I have been feeling very congested the last couple of days, and I am hoping that I'm not getting sick, but I feel it very much in my chest and in my voice right now. So I am so sorry about the voice. Hopefully it doesn't drive you guys crazy with the cracking of my voice, but I'm doing the best that I can. So just keep watching and see how I blend these colors together. Once I am happy with how my colors are blended, I then immediately peel up my tape. I immediately want to peel my tape because I have epoxy on that tape, and if you don't peel it immediately, your epoxy will seal your tape to your cup. So definitely don't do that, because you will definitely be very sad because that tape will not come off easily. So the best thing to do is just, once you're happy with your blend, peel that tape and put it on your turner and let it turn for a couple hours while your epoxy is curing. After my initial layer of epoxy cured, I went ahead and I put it on my turner and I put a layer of epoxy on it, let that one cure, then I put another layer of epoxy on it and let that cure. So there were 2 coats of epoxy on it before I did anything else. All right, now that I have 2 layers of epoxy and my cup is pretty smooth, I am then going to clean up the rim of my cup. I noticed that I don't show you guys this process probably nearly enough, so I'm just going to take a quick minute and show you how I clean the rim of my cup. So I take my sanding block and I sand a quick layer off to expose the top rim. I then take my knife, my crafting knife, or my crafting, whatever that's called, and I take it around the rim of my cup in order to get the excess epoxy off. I am now coming back in with my sanding block, and I am trying to expose a very thin layer of the stainless steel at the top. Once I'm happy with how the top looks, I then move into sanding the rest of the cup, and I just want to sand it until it's smooth. This is all fine glitter, so it really didn't take much sanding for my cup to become smooth, but I just want it to be as smooth as I possibly can get it in order for me to add my vinyl. I am focusing on the bottom rim and the top rim because these are where I have my biggest trouble spots. So once I am done giving it a good sand, I normally take it to my sink and then wash it with dish soap and water. It is much harder to take the camera and all of the stuff that it goes to the sink. So this time I just used 91% alcohol and a paper towel, and I cleaned it off. Normally I use dish soap and water, but for the video purposes, I thought it was easier for me to just show you this way. I also have a lot of overspray inside the cup, so I am taking the alcohol and I am wiping the inside of my cup. I normally use acetone for this, but I'm out of acetone right now, and so you'll see me kind of scrub and scrub and scrub. This job is much harder with alcohol, so if you can, I would get acetone and I would use the acetone to get the spray paint off the inside of your cup because it just makes it so much easier. I had to really scrub to get this spray paint out, and so I highly recommend acetone as opposed to alcohol to clean the inside where your overspray of spray paint goes. Alrighty, now I'm going to add my vinyl striping. Kind of on a whim, I got the idea, hey, candy corn is all over this cup. Why don't you take your vinyl striping and make it look like candy corn? So I have this super bright yellow vinyl that I got from my brother-in-law. He used to work at a sign shop. When the sign shop closed, some of the vinyl made it home with him. So I will not be linking this vinyl in the comment or in the description below, because honestly, I don't know where he got it. I don't know where it's from or anything like that. But if you can find this super bright yellow vinyl, perfect, done. If not, just go with the closest color to yellow that you can find and it will all work out. So I went ahead and I put the yellow down first. To me, what makes the most sense is if you're gonna, you want to do your vinyl striping congruently. So if you are going to do the top and bottom stripe first, do the top and bottom stripe with all of your pieces first, and then move to the sides. And you'll see me do that. So every time I start with my top and bottom, and then I move on to the sides. Now the mistake I made is right here. I should have cut my vinyl on the inside so that it doesn't overlap. I honestly don't know what I was thinking, but this makes those corners incredibly thick with vinyl. So if I had just cut it on the inside so that the vinyls touched but didn't overlap, I would have only had to do 2 final coats of epoxy. But because I overlapped them and that vinyl was so thick on the corners, it took 3 layers of final coat. So just word to the wise, I don't know what I was thinking. Cut on the inside so that your vinyl doesn't overlap. The other thing that I want to caution you on, which I am terrible at, is making sure that my vinyl striping is straight. I don't know why it is so hard for me to lay striping straight, but it is. And the orange turned out pretty good, but the white is a little wobbly. And I don't know why I can't lay it straight. It's just a flaw that I have. I don't think anybody else notices it, but I for sure do. So take your time, kind of just roll your cup back and forth and get it as straight as you can. These pieces are all handmade, so if somebody notices it and says, oh, that's super crooked, I'm like, yeah, it is, because I'm human and I make mistakes. So there's that. But so you'll see me here, I have that little excess on the side, so I just kind of cut that little small piece off and then I cut it off the top. Again, I wish that I had cut it under where the top stripe meets. Don't know if that makes any sense. If y'all need more explanation on that, leave a comment below and I'll try to type out what I mean instead of speaking it. I don't know how that will help any, because typing it isn't going to be any easier than speaking it. But if you have trouble with what I'm trying to say, let me know and I'll figure out a better way of saying it. Alrighty, so now I am adding the white vinyl on top, and now you can kind of see the vision coming together. So since there is candy corn in the vinyl, and I put candy corn glitter on the other side, I just thought, holy moly, how cute would it be to make the striping look like candy corn. It turned out really cute. I love it. If I was making this for as a custom order for somebody, I would probably put their name on the candy corn side, or I would do something on the candy corn side. Here in a minute, I'll show you the back side, and it just kind of looks a little plain to me. Maybe that's, you know, the style that it should be, because the other side is so busy with that vinyl that you need kind of a break from the pattern and the craziness. But I, you know, you could even add something like spooky season or something like that. But I just think that the backside just needs a little something extra in order to finish it off. But for the purposes of this tutorial, I left it blank. And if anybody orders this cup from me and you want your name on it, or you want spooky season, or you want anything like that, I'll be happy to do that for you. Just let me know. But that's kind of what I decided to do. So after I got all that vinyl striping done, it was time to put my final layers of epoxy on my cup. Like I said before, this took 3 final layers because of those really thick striping edges. And here's the final product, y'all. I absolutely love this cup. It turned out so cute and it was relatively simple. So if you guys are inspired to make something that looks kind of like this, tag me in it, let me know, and I would love to watch what you guys create, or just kind of send me a picture of it. I would love to see what you guys take and make of your own. Thanks for watching. Have a great week. See you next time. Bye. You can connect with me on social media with Facebook and Instagram, and you can also send me an email. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. But now it's time for you to watch the video that's suggested for you on the screen. Have a great day. Bye.